What's up, y'all? Again, this is King Abundance from the King Abundance channel. Chris Randolph, King Randolph, Pastor Chris. I'm here to, we're going to get right into it. If you've seen part one, how to make sure you land the job, make sure you get the job that you are trying to get. So this is part two. If you haven't watched part one, you need to go back and watch part one. This is part two of a two-part series. How to make sure you land the job. How to make sure you get the job that you're looking for. If you haven't already, please subscribe and share. This helps the channel and it helps me continue to bring value and equity to this channel. And I'd like to really just continue to upload videos daily and make sure I bring value. All right, let's get into it. All right, if you haven't watched part one, don't try to sneak it. Watch part one first before you watch this. All right, anyway, what sets you apart? We're talking about how to land a job. What sets you apart? Now, you're in the middle of the interview. Why should they hire you? What sets you apart? Now, in different industries, let's just say blue collar, plumbing, HVAC, electrical, blah, 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 all of those different companies. Let's just say what sets me apart is I have a customer service background, okay? A very high level customer service background. I worked for companies like Keller Williams, AutoNation, just to name a few. And these companies taught me how to handle customers in a certain manner. Yeah, the customer's not always right, but it teaches you how to deal with problems, issues, not escalate the customer, things like that. All right, what sets you apart? Now, in addition to that, I have a sales background, okay? Now, how can that be valuable to certain companies? Because a lot of companies, at the end of the day, they have a profit and loss statement. They have to make sure that they bring in income. Whether they're fixing things or they're contracted out, they have to make sure that income comes in. So if you are one of those individuals that possess the ability and the talent to be able to sell, that definitely brings value to you as an individual. Customer service, sales, training. Also have training experience. So these are three things that set me apart. And I'm not saying they're going to be the same for you, but what I'm saying is three things that set you apart. You want to have those memorized. You want to have those when you go into this interview. You don't want to be looking at notes, and you don't want to be on your phone, and you don't even want to touch your phone. Turn your phone off. Put it on airplane mode so it won't even buzz. It won't do a thing. It won't make any funny noises in the middle of the interview. The most important thing in that interview is the person you're talking to and making eye contact with that person. So that is very important. All right, three things that set you apart. What sets you apart? All right, now that we got that out of the way, but that's very important. Now, let's get to the really meat and potatoes of this video, and it's negotiation. All right, make sure you have a pen and a paper. I should have told you that first. Make sure you have a pen and a piece of paper handy, or something to take notes. You don't have to take notes with your with a pen and a piece of paper, long as you have something where you can take notes. Okay, now this is an art. A negotiation is an art. They've written books about it. People learn how to negotiate. Lawyers, attorneys, salespeople, certain business people understand how to negotiate. Now, how does this help you? All right. They have They have things posted, okay? Whether it's online or on a flyer of what they're gonna pay for an employee. That doesn't mean that you can't make an offer, okay? Because that's them making their offer. They're saying, we will hire you for this amount, and we want people qualified for this pay. You want to come and you want to make either that pay or more. You do not want to make less, okay? I don't know anybody in the world that would want to make less money for the same job. So you're coming into the situation, right? This is where your homework comes in. I always say this at the beginning. Do your homework about the industry, about the company, nationally, locally, nationally, as well as globally. Now, you know how much from your homework, you know how much you should be paid. Before you make your offer, you want to recap, okay? You want to recap your skill level. You want to recap your ability. You want to recap those 3 things that set you apart. I'm able to do this. I can do this. I can do this. Let's recap. I'm an employee that comes with this, this, and this. I use this example all the time. Arm & Hammer makes baking soda. Anybody can make baking soda, but Arm & Hammer is known for making baking soda. How many uses is baking soda, can you use baking soda for? Baking soda is a good base. So what you want to do is make yourself a good base as a employee. You want to say, I can do this, 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 and this. These are things that set me apart from every other employee that you have. Not saying they don't have one that covers one of those or 2 of those, but you have 3, at least 3. You want to come to the table with at least 3. You can even do more. But now, we recap. Now we want to get to the nuts and bolts of this. So let's just say, for whatever industry you're looking at, let's just say, and I'm going to keep this short and sweet, but if you need to rewatch this video, please rewatch the video because it's going to get to the technical portion of it. All right. Now, you want to, let's just say the industry says 61,000 is a good price for an employee, or it's a good wage for an employee that does what you do. Okay, 61,000. Okay, that's what the industry says. That's what the homework that you did says. Guess what? They did their homework too. They know how much they're gonna want to pay you, even though they may have posted something. That's their advertisement. They may have said, we're gonna pay new whatevers, we're new salespeople, we're new technicians, we're gonna pay new doctors, we're gonna pay you all 70,000. But when you get to the table, or the industry says they'll pay 61,000. This is what you want to do. You never want to ask for 61,000. Never want to ask for 61,000. You want to ask for more. So let's just say what you want in your head, that number in your head is 65,000. You want to be at 65,000. You would never want to ask for 65,000. You want to ask for 70,000. So now they have something to say, okay, we're not paying this guy 71,000, guy or girl, 71,000, but we'll pay you this. But if you start at that number, you will not ever get that number. Now, please, if you haven't paid attention at all in the video, you want to pay attention now, all right? I would suggest you write that number down on a piece of paper. You write that number down, what you want, 70,000. And then you slide the number to them. And you do the most important thing in the interview. You say the most important thing in the interview that you can say. And that word is nothing. And I'm quiet for a reason, because you want to shut up. You want to wait for them to look at that. They're going to either collaborate. There may be 2 people. There may be 3 people. There may be 1. They may look at their computer, look at you. And most of the time there's 2 interviews, but let's just say this is the last interview. And they may put a number on a piece of paper and they slide it over to you. Now, it's important that you continue to shut up unless they ask you a question. And if they ask you a question, you answer that question. For example, is the sky blue? Yes. And you leave it alone and you be quiet and let them put a number out there. Now, if they say, okay, we can't pay you 70,000. We just don't have it in the budget. The industry says 61,000 is an industry standard. They talk about it. They give you all this stuff. What you want to do, they can't give you 70. Your next offer, if they may give you an offer. You want to make them give you an offer. Their offer may be 62. You take that piece of paper, you go up. You don't say a word. Your next offer is 66.5. You want to get them to the point where they say, we'll meet in the middle, we'll do this. That 66.5 will wind up getting them to the point where they may say, we can do 64. And this is what you say. This is very important. You write 65 down. You pass that number to them, and you say, I would do this. I would put my hand over the paper, and you firmly look at them and say, 65. Do we have a deal? And that's that. And in most cases, if you hold your peace like I told you to hold your peace, in most cases, what will happen is they may make another counteroffer, but in most cases, they'll take it. Watch this again. If you don't get it the first time, watch it again, watch it the third time, whatever you need to do. But it's very important you negotiate in those way, in those terms, in that way, because it will get you the outcome that you need. Okay? All right. I hope that you learned something. I hope you got something out of it. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, share. King Abundance channel, King Randolph. We love you. Peace.